If you are moving to another state and you have never done it before, allow me to help you by learning from my mistakes. Hi, welcome. If you are new to my channel, I am passionate about helping families relocate to a new state by having an organized and successful move. I have now lived in 5 different states and have completed a lot of cross-country moves, not only for myself, but a lot of clients I have helped in the past. My biggest advice is to be as prepared as you possibly can. Take control over preparation. I would start doing things the moment you know you're moving. I would start preparing little by little so that as it gets closer and closer, you have less stress about things that need to get done and you have more space and energy to deal with the things that come up unexpectedly during a move. The first thing I would recommend is starting with a moving budget. I will tell you that moving expenses can get out of control really quickly, and there's a lot of things that we don't think about when we initially begin planning our move. The first thing I would do is start taking inventory of everything you have. It is a big move and it costs a lot of money. Every single thing you have is going to cost money to move it. So really try to take some time to think about what you can sell, what you can donate, and what you really need to take, so that when you start getting quotes from moving companies, you kind of know how much space you need and how much stuff you're actually moving. I would get a lot of quotes on moving companies. There are tons and tons and different types. There's full service moving, there's the U-Haul type companies, there's the pods and shipping container type companies, and then there's also freight companies, which aren't as common. My husband and I actually used the freight company this last move, and it was actually really cheap and really convenient. They bring a semi-truck to your house. The truck driver unhitches the trailer, leaves it. Our movers loaded it up. We called the truck guy back. He came, picked up the trailer, and then took it. It was really easy. It only took a fraction of the price of the containers we were quoted, and also they held it in a warehouse for us. So even though we had a few weeks till we closed on our house, our stuff was still safe and secure. And then once we closed on the house, we scheduled the truck to be dropped off that day. I was a little hesitant because I was afraid that it was a lot less money than some of the pods and stuff, but it actually ended up being a really good thing and it worked out really well for us. So just make sure you get a lot of quotes. Down below, I made an Excel sheet for you so you can use that to budget your moving expenses. There might even be some items on there that you haven't thought about to put into your moving expenses. So if you are looking for a moving expense budget sheet, go ahead and grab that down below. The next thing I would recommend is booking all the services as far in advance as you possibly can. This last year and a half has been crazy in the housing market and in the vehicle department. There are a shortage of moving trucks and moving companies right now. I would book all of your services the moment you know you're moving and you have kind of decided which company you're going with. Book them as soon as you can, because there are some delays right now with rentals. I would also buy all your packing supplies as quickly as you can. Make sure you get saran wrap and labels and a padlock for your container if you're using that. I would say saran wrap was the #1 thing I used next to boxes. Like, you can saran wrap furniture, you can saran wrap all the curtain rods together. Like, there's just so many things you can do with saran wrap, so make sure you get that. Also, if you are moving across country, do not have any miscellaneous boxes. I will tell you from experience that when I'm packing it, I'll be like, oh, I'll remember what's in this box. And then I get to my new house, my kids need socks, and I have 45 miscellaneous boxes that all look the same. And I have to keep digging through all of them to find a pair of socks. Just take the extra 2 minutes, even get a note card and tape it on top of the box and just list everything inside that box. It's going to save you so much time and allow so that you don't have to open every single box when you get to your new place. Also, labeling each box by color, like putting a little, one of those little circle stickers by color for each room so that you kind of have an idea of where everything goes as it's getting unloaded. Which brings me to my next thing. Start packing as soon as you know you're moving. Me personally now, I start with the stuff that I absolutely don't want to do, which is usually like the storage area or the garage or the attic, just the stuff that needs to kind of be cleaned up and organized. I do that first, and then I come inside and I start doing the stuff we don't use as often and just kind of work my way all the way up to the everyday stuff as the move gets closer. That works for me. I don't know if it works for other people. I would also recommend starting a part box. This is a box where you put the tools and all the pieces to different furniture and things that you use often. Make sure it's all in one box. That box looks different than everything else, so that when you get to your new house, you can at least set up your bed really fast in your kids' crib and get everything set up so that you have somewhere to sleep the first night you're in your house. You know, the more time you have to do this, the better you're going to feel about the move, the more organized things are going. If you have enough time, just do little by little so that you're not overwhelmed and have the last minute. This is one of our last moves. This was the night before the movers were coming. Everything was still a mess. My baby was still very young, so we needed a lot of stuff because we weren't going to our house for a few weeks. We were going to stay at a temporary housing, so I needed like her bath and her pack and play and stuff, and it got a little overwhelming. So just make sure that you have enough time to pack everything up. Make sure you pack it compact. The next thing I would recommend is to plan your route in detail. And if you are able to, especially if you're taking the entire clan, the entire family on the Great Migration, is to try to spread it out as much as possible. This last time we moved, my baby was 6 months old. I was still breastfeeding her, and we tried to eliminate to only driving 6 hours a day. And let me tell you, 6 hours turned into like 10 to 12-hour days every single day between the baby and my older child and the dogs and traffic and closures. There's just so many things that come up on the road that you don't expect. So if you can and you have the ability to, I would recommend spreading it out as much as possible. Another thing that worked really well for us is to rent Airbnbs along the way on the road instead of hotel rooms. It really helped my family and I kind of be able to spread out after a long drive. A lot of them had backyards for the dogs to run around, and it was just there was a couple nights where we could cook a nice meal instead of eating fast food or whatever was on the road. So the Airbnbs were like probably the best idea I had, next time fly with my kids and ship my car. If you can do that, I would do that. As far as the road goes, especially traveling with kids, I made my kids each a little box of stuff they'd never seen before. Yourself, I would recommend that you download more podcasts and stories and a variety. I only downloaded a few books on my normal podcast, and by day 2, I was bored. I was at the gas station, like searching, trying to find something new. I wanted like comedy, just something new to listen to because it is long and boring. So to sum it all up, again, I would say the key is take control over preparation and take your time on the journey. Again, I put a budget sheet down below. Make sure you use that and try to figure out exactly how much. It's going to make you feel so much better when you have everything laid out and you kind of have at least a broad expectation of what to expect. It's going to help bring down the stress a little bit, and it's going to help you able to focus on other things. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. And if you have done quite a few moves yourself, please comment down below what has helped you. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.